Hey you! Like I promised, today we're gonna go over how to play Deadrop, how it works, and everything that I learned in the past 2 weeks playing it. I compiled this list to get you from loot noob to looter shooter in record time. So let's start off with the basics and jump right into it. The easiest target to kill in any FPS is a still one, so you want to keep moving even when you're looting. You can do this by jumping right before you loot a crate, and if you do that, it will drastically reduce the time you spend standing still. If you can't jump before looting the crate, remember that there is a brief time between opening the crate and seeing the contents of the crate where you can press the crouching button, or any other button for that matter, to slightly move and make it harder for someone to hit you. You can combine both of these tips for maximum safety while you loot. My calculated percentages of loot are as follows. If we assume that every crate has at least one item, the Iron Grip has a 100% chance of appearing in a box, Disc has a 50% chance of appearing, Obelisks have a 7.5% chance, and the comics are at 0.5% chance. Those chances are calculated to the ideal crate where at least one item would always appear, but that isn't always the case. You could get 4 items in a crate or none, so do with these numbers as you wish. But that brings me to the next and final point on looting. If you're not desperate for every item, and currently you're probably not, don't take all the loot from all the boxes, because that makes it easy to track you. If you want to throw off people that are out there trying to kill you, leave an item or two in a few boxes so they stay closed when you walk by them. That will give an indication you went a different path and will make it increasingly harder to track you. On the contrary point, you can use this tip to track other players and kill them while they're looting. As you can see here, I found a few open boxes and decided to follow the trail to find the player who opened them. It's not complex, you just follow where the open boxes are, and as you can see I eventually found the player because they're much slower than I am trying to catch up to them, and I easily dispose of them. Now let's talk about weapons. Starter weapons that I would recommend are Rifle A and Pistol C. Rifle A does a good job of covering short and mid-range, while Pistol C takes care of all the fights that are long range. With a bit of luck, you can two-shot someone with a Pistol C as it does 63 damage to the head and 42 to the body. The gun will be changed with the next snapshot unless they give us a hotfix, so make sure to take advantage of this while you can. If those two weapons aren't available, Pistol A and B are good alternatives for mid-range. Rifle D is great for long range if you hate yourself enough to use that scope, and shotguns are absolutely destructive at close range. Shotgun D, for that matter, is one shot at close range, so with a bit of luck you can actually turn a fight around with it. Avoid Rifle B and C because Rifle B has lower damage than Rifle A and really bad fire rate, while Rifle C has great fire rate but really bad reticle bloom and accuracy. So even the 40 bullets don't do it justice. Last one to mention is Pistol D. It's a quirky gun, fun to use but very impractical. So now let's talk about sound. It can be used to your advantage for the most part. It's accurate in regards to where the person is around you, but it doesn't account for vertical dampening. So someone below or above you will sound like someone is walking right beside you. When you clear buildings, this gives you great insight and advantage because you can figure out where the opponents are by checking each floor in the area where you heard the sound. Be mindful that they can also be outside, so it can sometimes be confusing since you feel like you looked everywhere and you still haven't found them, even though the footsteps are right on you. Now that you're well equipped to find your opponents, gun them down and loot them, now what? Let's talk about the rewards in winning. The Deadrop is nothing else but the contents of backpacks left in the game. If there were 4 players in the match and 3 of them died, regardless of how they were killed, all the contents in their backpacks will be put into the Deadrop. You will receive as the last player standing. But if that's not what you're going for, Extraction is another choice to leave the game with the loot you already have. It's a popular choice for those who already found the comic early in the game. Those players like to rush for the exit ASAP, and if you're like one of them, remember that the extraction points are not shared. Every player gets their own extraction points, so there is no one probably camping your exit, and neither should you. If you want to leave, there is no point waiting another 2 minutes to see if there's one other person that will come to the extraction point. It's very unlikely, and if you loot the backpacks and they disappear, the Deadrop will always be empty, so rest assured you're not missing out on anything if you extract. As a final bonus, there is an elevator trick that could save you from an attack. It's something that Kremlock likes to do and what he successfully used to evade me and Lone Sindel when we were teaming up in a game. All you have to do is press forward while you're going up, and once you get stuck on the wooden panels, just press crouch. But be careful because if you mess it up, you will die. It's just a little something that is worth practicing if you like to play in the factory area. I'm sure with all the snapshots that are coming our way, most of these things will change, so I will be updating the guide accordingly. But for now, that's all there is to it. If you made it this far, I'm convinced you are now better equipped to get a dead drop more consistently. So you know what? I'll see you in the game, champ. And remember, if you hear this gun sound, run.